The death of a 21-year-old Agnes Wanjiru stunned the country when details emerged that a British troop allegedly stabbed her to death and dumped her in a septic tank in Nanyuki. However, more than a year since the revelation, investigations have yet to commence into her death. This was revealed in an exclusive interview with the UK Minister for the Armed Forces, who says a difference between the two legal systems is the reason behind the long delay. The UK Minister, James Heapy, also outlined the Defence Cooperation Agreement between the United Kingdom and Kenya and the United Plan to Counter Terrorism in the country. Here now is that exclusive interview by NTV's Gina Kiruri.
Tell us more about the meeting that was held between you and the Cabinet Secretary for Defence.
The relationship that the UK, and particularly the UK's Ministry of Defence, has developed over recent years with our counterparts here in Nairobi has become really close, and it was great to build on those in our discussions today.
They brought up the issue of Agnes Wanjiru, the 21-year-old lady who was killed in Nanyuki. What's the status of those investigations as of now?
What matters is that we get an investigation underway as quickly as we can. That investigation is dependent on a legal agreement between the UK and Kenya. Well, it hasn't been signed yet, but obviously it was a key part of my discussions this morning, and I would hope that we can make progress very quickly indeed. I certainly want to. The UK has nothing to hide in all of this. The Ministry of Defence in London has no desire to hide information or protect people. You know, we are as disgusted by these allegations as you are. In these sorts of international matters where two different legal systems need to align, it is necessary to make the right arrangements first around how those legal systems will interact.
So how will that happen?
Well, I think we spoke about that earlier on.
I don't feel like I'm getting a clear response on how that will be, the solution will come in of the two countries.
I can't. I mean, I'm deliberately not giving you that detail because it's not detail that it's either in the Kenyan government or the UK government's interest to expand on. But what I can tell you is that they are very easily resolvable issues. The problem is that there hasn't been an investigation thus far, and we need to get on with one as quickly as possible.
Directorate of Criminal Investigations officers from Kenya had made a deal with the UK military officers that they will conduct interviews surrounding the investigation, but it's been complained that it's since gone cold. So what is the status of those interviews that are scheduled to take place?
Well, so those arrangements are still very much in place. There's no doubt about it that both the UK military and civilian police forces will be very, very happy to be a part of the investigation and to interview witnesses on behalf of the Kenyan police.
Once investigations are underway and perhaps these perpetrators are found culpable, what happens with the process of compensation for her family?
The suggestion was that compensation should be paid to her family immediately. Now, I think that most people would recognise that until it is investigated and proven in a court of law, it's premature to be talking about those sorts of things.
Does it pain you sometimes to see soldiers going awry?
In generality, the British Army sets itself a high standard. Part of the British Army's licence to operate all over the world comes from that high standard.
Do you think because of those high standards sometimes people are quick to defend the United Kingdom over such allegations?
I don't think people rush to defend the United Kingdom at all. I think quite the reverse, actually. I think that if people make allegations about the British Army, people are very often even more alarmed by it because they associate the British Army with a standard.
Now let's switch gears and talk about the Defence Cooperation Agreement. Please tell us the status of what that is. I know it was signed between the former CS, Monica Juma, and the Defence UK Minister. Tell us more about it.
Well, so the Defence Cooperation Agreement is a legal basis that allows the UK to continue to train in and with the Kenyan Armed Forces, and it sets out all of the mechanisms by which we pay for that training, for example, and the legal basis on which we use land and a number of other sort of technical things. In the UK, it has been ratified. In the Kenyan Parliament, we weren't able to get it ratified in the last Parliament, but my understanding is that it is being brought back to Parliament.
Within that legal framework now, there's the training of the British troops and also the British troops training some of the Kenyan soldiers,
yes.
correct?
Yes.
And that's about 1,100 of them plus. Now, with this training, there are concerns that have sprouted up from the African Union Security Council about cross purposes, about protection of commercial interests, and establishing dominance in the midst of global competition. Another concern that's come out is the proliferation of foreign military bases.
It would be the complete opposite from what representatives of the AU have said to me about how much they value the UK's effort across Africa to work with partner countries to train their armies, learn together, because it raises the capacity.
Finally, about the threat of terror to Kenyan soil, and not just Kenyan soil, it's something that's spread out across the continent in different countries. What is the UK's plan?
We've realised that often we make things worse by trying to come to a country and sort it out for ourselves. And so the way to do it is exactly as you mentioned, it's to give the training that is needed to successfully prosecute counter-terror campaigns. So that's counter-IED work. That is the base military training that our armies do together year-round.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.